Episode of Roddy Fighters presents The Way of the Blade. My name is Nori. I have a very special guest here tonight. I have Enders, an awesome Cervantes player. If you follow the game at all, you should know who he is. How are you, Enders? What's going on tonight, man?
Hello. I'm doing well, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's been catching up with you.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
Pleasure's all mine, man. I definitely appreciate it. So a little history. Enders has been playing the game a hot minute. Has been really good in tournaments. The guy's been getting better and better. He's been having some big victories under his name. If you're a Cervantes player, you definitely know who he is. So I'm excited for this episode, especially. I know him a long time. Me and some other Cervantes players had a group chat for a while. We would all, talk and help each other and bust each other's chops. So this guy's come an extremely long way, and I'm super proud of him. So thank you. Thanks for being here, man.
It was like having 5 older brothers teach you how to fight, like in real life.
That's true, man. That's definitely true. That's definitely true, man. All right, thank you for joining, Blue God. All right, let's see. So let's go ahead and get started. What do you like about Cervantes?
What do I like about Cervi? I feel like this is the fundamental expression of a safe, neutral focused character.
Mm-hmm. That's a good description.
In, Soul Calibur 6, right?
Absolutely.
He is pretty much the ideal version of how. Yeah, he's the ideal version of how I've wanted to play the game when I first got into it, which was I kind of want to be in control, and I feel like that's a kind of his strength. He dictates the pace. He's this giant asshole piece of shit character that constantly tells his opponent, no, you can't do this. No, stop doing that. You're going to play at my pace or you're going to lose the game.
I agree. I couldn't agree with that more. And as a Cervantes main myself, I kind of feel like he can handle anything. He could be played in so many various play styles. A lot of fun. I agree with you 100%. All right, let's see.
Yeah, he's so versatile. You pretty much hit it on the head.
All right,
he's a super versatile character. Especially lately, I feel like I can play him into anybody.
And we're gonna try to go over that with everybody because I feel like every character's built different, right? But we're gonna try to go over, let people know that hey, he's got multiple styles he can play. He could be a pit bull, he could be a turtle, he could be a mid-range sack of shit and just annoy you. He can kind of do it all.
Yeah.
I mean, we're being honest.
Yeah, he's this is what I used to say way early into it. I used to call him the Swiss Army knife character.
It's true. Absolutely. All right, so I know your movement. I know the answer to this question of what you're going to start off doing in a tournament setting. You're going to know somebody. You're going to back up. I know you. What are opening moves you like to do?
So if I'm not going to immediately backstep, usually it'll be one of two things. If I feel like my opponent is going to immediately just sprint forward and attack me, I'll just check them with 3 Beeple. It's a really quick way to just get some guard damage out if they block it,
right.
Counter hit them if they mash an attack on the start of the round or something, I really like tracking people with this as an opener, or even if it's not immediately on round start, even if it's a couple seconds after. 3 is a really good opening check, A6 as well, right?
A6 is absolutely. Let's talk about that a little bit. You hit one of the best moves in the entire game. This frustrates all non-Cervantes players. Let's talk about this move. Did Legend with me?
This move is actually I ranked it. Yeah, sorry, your mic was cutting out a bit. I think there could be a slight connection thing or something maybe.
Okay, you hear me now? You good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Go ahead.
So I think A6 is insane. This move, if I had to pick the top 5 Soul Calibur 6 attacks, I would pick this one. Because my explanation for why I would put this in the top 5 is if you give this move to any character in the game, they can fundamentally build a playstyle around this move and 2 or 3 other moves in their kit.
Right.
Just this coupled with a few attacks can turn you into a zoner. It could turn you into a mid-range monster. It could kind of make you a containment monstrosity. This is like the quintessential best close to mid-range zoning tool in the game, I think.
You can't step it. It's a mid-high, just so people can see this. Go ahead and do A6 again. Like, you can't step this move.
Yeah.
It's just it's 100% containment. It's safe. Really, really hard to get around. And you have to respect it. Great move.
Yep. Super, super.
What else do you like doing as far as opening moves? Let's say you don't know somebody. What other moves do you like?
So I think like just to touch on A6 just a little bit more. So like because this move is like +6 on hit, right?
Right.
I feel like a lot of Derby players could like get a lot of things going by like just starting their matches with like a lot of like kind of space your opponent out, like keep them at the range where like right around like here if you stop moving for a bit.
Go ahead.
Like I'd say like right around here. This is like the range
yeah.
always. Yeah, like you always kind of want to be here with your opponent. The reason is like if they get closer, this move pushes them back out. If they sidestep at that range, you know, this is going to hit them. So, and because this is +6, right, it's not like a low amount of frame advantage. You can start an offense
Absolutely.
off this move. You know, you could start like throwing in your low pokes after. You can do AA after. If they start mashing, you can 2A+B, get your lethal hits.
Absolutely.
This move can start so much of Servy's like game plan, and you know, you could hit them and run away if you want, and continue just kind of like peppering them with A6. Also, the move is really hard to whiff punish for a lot of characters.
Extremely hard
as well.
Yeah.
As far as like other moves that I really like using, funny enough, today actually, I had some players ask me what I think the top 5 moves in order for Cervantes are. It's this one, right? Okay. Number 1.
Sure.
And then, 2A+B is the second best move I think Serby has. This is your safe method of checking your opponent for ducking or pressing buttons, right? This is something you'll see that happens to me in tournament a lot. My opponent and I will have this awkward moment. We're just standing here staring at each other,
right.
guarding, right? And then out of nowhere, like you'll see me just do this, bam, lethal hit. This is like one of the best moves to just catch your opponent's timing with.
Boom.
And just blow them up, right? Like if you feel like your opponent's about to press a button, you just throw this out, and you start getting kind of like that too, right?
Yeah.
You'll just see these random moments where it happens. And the best part about it is like because it's safe and like -6, you can still kind of like be disrespectful after it. You get Oki off of it. The move is just honestly fantastic. And then like what else? Like moving on from there, I think like his third best move would be K2. It's a tech crouching, really fast low poke. It sets up a really awkward situation for your opponent. So your opponent is going to be +2 here, right? So they have the advantage. However, they don't really want to do too much, right? Because like if you land this at tip, you can backstep any button they press. If you land it up close and you block a button,
right,
then they're really negative in your face and you get like pressure.
Right.
So you could start like a lot of people get hit by this, and they just kind of like hold the situation, which gives you a lot of pressure.
They get
and
shook
it does
up.
a very sizable chunk of damage.
They get shook up right away.
Yeah, they get shook. Yep, exactly. And then like his fourth best move, in my opinion, is probably like 66K. I think is one of the best moves in his like entire arsenal for just like being. Okay, so what I said earlier, quintessential safe pokey neutral character. This is your quintessential safe, really fast, great tracking, plus on hit, +10 on counter hit neutral poke. You know, like
I want people to see
like
that.
You see that
crouch?
Stomp?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. They get
yeah.
They get knocked down, or not knocked down, but they get put into a forced crouch state where you are +10 after you do this. A lot of my matches, if I am worried about getting hit by my opponent, right? And I want to start playing the Pitbull kind of style of Serby that you were talking about, you'll see me like run up and just like fish for this. The reason that I fish for this is that on block, this move has. This means even when your opponent like blocks this, you still get to like get away from it. Like, they can't really
Right.
contain you after they block the move.
That's true. That's true.
Which means that if it didn't work, if you didn't hit them, you get to disengage. Which means that you can just keep fishing for this until eventually you get like a hit or a counter hit, and then begin your pitbull like grab offense.
So just because people can kind of
It's
understand,
really aggressive, but also stay safe, like what Cervi should be. This move, I think, should be like a core part of your aggressive game plan with Cervantes.
absolutely, and just so people can get an idea, like -9 moves in block generally is like your turn's over. Like you don't even have time to move, you don't have time to sidestep, like nothing. -6 gives you a lot of options. You can still, like Anders was saying, you can still move, which is super, super important because his movement, Cervantes, is so good, and people don't utilize it enough. So thank you for explaining all these moves are also safe, actually, as well, which is crazy.
Yeah. And
So
then finally,
we have the chat too, so I want to catch up. Hey, Crizzy, thank you very much for the sub to SA Rob. Hello, Kira, how you doing? And Breezy23 wants to know why you're so good, Enders, and he's actually explaining that right now because this man's a beast. He's actually explaining that right now.
Just to touch on why I'm good now, because I've had a multitude of fantastic teachers in this game. A bunch of people to learn from, a bunch of people to watch, most importantly, and also a bunch of people to talk to. And everyone was really open and welcome. If you want to get good, don't be afraid. Just hit people up. They'll talk to you about the game.
It's good advice. It's good advice.
You know?
Absolutely. All right, so we're on move number. Sorry about the interruption. So I want to make sure I give some love for the stream too. What is the move number 5 that you like? 3B.
3B. Just okay. So it's kind of a meme now for a lot of people who are my friends, where they say, "What is Ender's 2 favorite moves in a game?" For any character, it's grab and then 3B.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Part of this is because the first person. Yeah, part of this is because the first person to teach me, or try to like take me up and help me learn the game in a really like concise way was Job. Mm-hmm. Old friend of yours, and also you at the same time, right? Like both of you kind of like took upon yourselves to help me out, you guys taught me that throws are overpowered in this game. They are legitimate mix-ups, and having in 80 damage. Oh god, my execution. Sorry.
It's okay. So people know it's a laggy parsec. Yeah, it's just for training mode. But yeah, 3B being only -14 is ridiculous for a launcher. It's really, really crazy.
But you know what?
Track's good too. Go ahead.
Yeah, for
we know the combos. We know the combos.
Is actually you do it.
Is it laggy for me too? Let's see. Let's see if I'm bad. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and look at that, 81 damage.
Guys, we're really good. Attacking. I promise. 81 damage.
Oh, you're cutting out?
Okay.
Can you guys hear us? Andrew, say something.
Hello. I'm saying a full sentence, so that way you could tell if I'm cutting out or not, and that's why I'm saying a pretty long sentence here.
Okay. All right. We'll make sure you guys can hear us. Thank you guys for the feedback. Appreciate it. All right. Go ahead, buddy. 3B.
Okay, so 3B. You essentially have a so this move. A lot of 3Bs in this game tend to have a lot of properties attached to them. They tend to be tech crouches while being I-18, and they launch at tip, whereas Cervi's crumple stuns at tip.
Right.
They tend to have all these good properties, and then Cervi doesn't have any of this. It's I-20. It's -14. It doesn't tech crouch. Right. A lot of bad qualities. However, in exchange, they decided that his 3B hits as hard as a critical edge in this game.
Absolutely.
If you have the execution, insane.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you have the execution, he does basically a bar's worth of damage without spending a bar. Which is just an insanely high amount of damage to give a character for any time you step a move. 80 damage. They duck in your face. 80 damage. And because you have such a high damage, Cervi's already really strong grab game gets even better, right? Mm-hmm. Like these grabs, number one, 50 damage front throw is pretty like standard, but it gives great Oki. Right. The back throw, if you have the execution, which a little bit delayed there, but this will do 65 damage. It's like super high. And then both these throws, his grab range is also like really good. It just everything kind of like builds together to turn this character into like a pseudo grappler.
Sure.
He's not a grappler in the same sense that Astaroth is, where he has command throws and hard inputs for the throws, but he's a grappler in the sense that he can run up and enforce grab mix-ups as like his core game plan if he wants to win. And as people know, I really love to fucking grab people. It's pretty much my favorite thing to do in this game.
Absolutely. No, the grabs are very, very strong. They're very underrated in this game. Like, the simple things really will win in Soul Calibur. You don't have to get crazy with a lot of stuff. Throws, like in Tekken, you see the arms, you can just decide what to break. Soul Calibur, like, you have to guess no matter how good you are. And plus the swings out, which is super cheap. Because so many people are, like, thinking about stuff, whatever, and just, this is really cheap. Like,
yeah, it is cheap. And then it also means that your 65 damage back throw against people who are aware of it is guaranteed against the edge,
Right.
Because no one's going to get rung out. They're going to always break front, and then you're just going to hit them with just the back throw against ring edge every time. So yeah, I think like those 5 moves, I think if you want to build a core brand new Cervantes like style, you would just start with those 5. You would like play around with like A6. Of course, you have your AA. Never forget about this. But that's like everyone has an AA. You would start with your A6, your K2, your 66K, your 2A plus B, and then grab your 3B. You use these 5 moves all together?
Yeah, no, to be fair, a lot of people's AAs are not that good. Cervantes is probably within the top 10 of AAs in the game. Because the range on this is absurd, and you're +6. So if they press buttons, you have that. You can do it again. I mean, it's kind of nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, his AA is special in this game. So it has, like you said, +6, but it also has really, really strong pushback. Which some people see this as weakness. Some Servi players, they see this pushback and they think that this is like a weak aspect of the character. They think it's bad. Like, oh no, I'm +6 and I push them away. I don't get any mix-up. The honest truth is that you do still, even if you push them like out of range of the grab mix-up, right? What you have here is a situation like this. Like, if I hit you here, right, and I run up and grab you, you're probably going to block, or maybe you'll backstep. I could still run up and enforce my mix-up. What people can do to defend against that would be to mash, all right? They'll do 2As, they'll do like A6,
right,
or they'll backstep and then they'll 2A. They'll try to zone you out. And you can just be +6, and running away from your opponent gives you, in a sense, a form of frame advantage, right?
Exactly.
If you hit people and run away every time, eventually it becomes really easy to hit them and then run into them and get a grab. Run into them and get a mix-up. You play this like in and out gameplay after you hit your opponent with AA.
Right.
And that's part of why the pushback is so good. Also, he keeps the pushback on block. Like, look at this. Look how far he is away from me.
And he's in the range he wants to
blocking my
like, you're not gonna try to attack him back. That'd be crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like if you press a button here, like just do like A6 after them, right?
Go ahead. Yeah, it's insane.
Look at that. Like, yeah, I'm just out for free, even though I'm -8.
Yeah,
his AA is really good despite the pushback.
Very good. There's little things about Cervantes that I feel like a lot of people focus on his damage, which he's had since day 1 of season 1. So that's not it. They don't look at all his versatility and why he's such a really strong character. I don't know. I thought day 1 he was always good, but me and you talked about that day 1, right? Like, this character is like better than people think, and everybody was kind of downplaying him, and he's a lot better now.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, thank you, Namco, he kept getting buffed and buffed and buffed, and I'll take it.
Yeah, he kept getting buffed, and then other characters kept getting nerfed. Part of the, initially I thought he was broken, and the only reason I ever came to the conclusion, like, midway through season 1 that he probably wasn't that good was not because he wasn't that good. It was just because he was buggy and other characters were broken in season 1.
True.
And now that other characters got nerfed and he got fixed and he got buffed, this is one of the best characters in the game right now.
Absolutely.
And also, let's talk about this move real quick. I think this move is insane. This is one of the most like easy.
100%
While standing,
tracking.
I'm just free. I have an I-12 from crouch. It's a mid. It's horizontal.
And it's safe now.
If I press this button and I'm like, yeah, like if I press this button, I'm +2. There's nothing you could do. Like you just kind of have to accept that this is gonna come out and check you. You know.
And this used to be -12.
Move,
this used to be -12, which is I thought fair. Now it's -8. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's safe now.
That's crazy.
Much to the chagrin of like a lot of my friends, they really hate that this is safe now.
Yeah.
Which funny enough, we spoke about K2 earlier.
Mm-hmm.
K2 puts you in crouch, which means you get to do while sending K right afterwards.
Right. It's a
And like
-2.
for most
Go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say for most characters, they can't really do anything about this to any like reasonable degree. They could 2A. Some characters have an I-12 from crouch, some don't. And then like some characters have vertical I-12s, right? They have like an I-12 while rising K that's vertical, which means that if you do K2 and sidestep, they get launched for 80 damage.
And not only that, but a lot of people want to knowledge check you where, this is just like Sophie's 1K. We talked about early in the series with Zephykai. K2 is -2 on hit. So people that, they think they know the character's frame data, I'm just going to 2A him. Here's the problem with 2A. Don't do that. It's a guessing game.
56 damage.
I'm not saying always take it, but if he's loaded with gunshots, you're eating 80, 90 damage. If there's a ring out, if there's a wall, so there is a mind game of doing this and shaking people up. Crap, do I K2 and eat this, or do I just sit there and take it? Well, if it's just sit there and take it, then I'm just gonna, kind of keep on annoying you to death. And it's a very, very, very powerful move.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm trying to think of like any other like bonus moves that I would like think about to talk about with Cervantes, and I think like some of these would be
Little AB.
Little AB.
You don't like Little AB?
What's Little AB? I've never heard it called that. Oh,
what do you call it?
Carne Asada.
I like that.
I usually call it A-Slide B.
A-Slide B,
I call
okay.
it A-Slide B. But
Well,
Carne Asada.
I'm an old man, so Little
that's
A,
what
I'm an old man. I said Little AB. Okay, go ahead. A-Slide B works too.
Yeah, Little AB. A-Slide B is a okay, so in older games this was like in Soul Calibur 5 this could be used as a zoning tool against some characters, and it was basically like a poke.
Part 3 too.
In this game, this is part 3 as well then.
Yeah.
In this game, you can't really use it as a zoning tool anymore, but what you can use it as is a super fast 40 damage whiff punish or block punish.
You can't back
look
away
at this.
Like you can't move.
Look at the range. Yeah. Yeah, you can't back away from this. If people get caught sidestepping, they just get hit by this. This move is like essentially it's an I-14.
Look at the range on that.
Sphere.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like an I-14 sphere that just kind of like stops your opponents in his tracks. However, keep in mind this move is minus on hit. If you get hit by this, you are the one at advantage. You
True.
can start pressing a button, maybe counter hitting him. So yeah, like this move is fantastic. Minus 18 on block, so really risky against some characters in this game who have like insanely powerful I-18 punishment. So I'd be wary of doing this into like Siegfried or something.
Right, for sure.
But yeah, like this is a really good move. One of my personal.
You were going to talk about 3B plus K, I think, right?
Till one day, Party Wolf really obsessed over this move and got me to look at it more closely. And man, this move is wild. It is essentially you can just consider this a launcher if you want.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
You can try to do like the IGDR combo here. You can do B2 afterwards if you want. Really good damage, really good OK. And then this move does 15% guard damage, is safe on block, and pushes back like 300 miles
and
on block.
You can CE off it too, can't you?
It is very negative. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yep. You could just get a sorry. You just get like a massive chunk of damage.
And it's safe.
Just
it's
getting
insane.
your opponent.
I can't believe it's safe.
And also, I don't think that this is reactable either. safe. It's safe.
It's
dude.
crazy. It's
Like,
crazy.
what the hell, man?
Thanks, Namco. Yeah. It's nuts.
What else is like really, really good?
No, you were talking about
Dude.
3B plus K, and I think I cut you off before. I'm sorry about that. 3B plus K. Yeah, that's a great move. This is a great move.
This move, I think, single-handedly, it like single-handedly solved a problem Servi was having. So there was this issue with Servi in season 1 that I thought was stand still for a moment because it's gonna help me kind of like set this up.
Go ahead.
When you're at this range or so, right?
Right.
Don't hold guard for a moment, right? So like when you're at this range, and you see someone whiff, you could punish them with 3B, but you won't get a launch.
Right.
You could do IGDR. Let me just but you won't get a launch. And honestly, IG the older games. So your
And you're kind of cutting out.
punishment at like this range outside of CE wasn't very good. But now you have a punish that not only is 9% guard damage, so even if you're late, it still works, right? It's baby mode. It does a very
Hey, Enders, can you hear me? Because you're cutting out, buddy.
if I could input it correctly.
Enders, can you hear me?
You know, like you just it does so much for Servi's game plan. Oh, Florida Man said I'm cutting out again.
Yeah, you're cutting out, buddy. Are you on your PC or on your phone through Discord?
I'm on my PC.
Try to leave real quick and then come back. Because you were kind of cutting out that last sentence. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Sorry, buddy. Give me 1 second, please. Okay, there he is. All right, and just you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I wanted everybody to kind of hear you. My bad. So we were leaving off on 3BK. We were just talking about how good it was. It's you just left off on 9% block guard damage. Go ahead.
Okay, so this move does 9% guard damage, which essentially means that like a lot of the problems that Servi had with punishing moves from this distance was fixed. It was kind of risky to try to punish a fast move with IGDR from far away,
for sure,
because it was -20 on block. It had travel time, which meant it was slow. 3B was never worth it because you didn't get anything for doing this. So back then, all you had to do, your only option, was like trying to whip punish with A-Slide B from far away.
Or with CE, that's it. That's all you had.
Or with CE.
Right.
Now, you just do 3B plus K. It has insane range. It's good on block. It gives you fantastic Oki. You know, gives you a lethal hit when you amass the gunshots.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
This move is a super, super baby mode move. Just use it, man. It's simple. It's safe. There's like very little risk, and even when you step it, like just like mash step here, right? Like, look at the recovery on this thing. It just comes out instantly and then recovers really quick. It's really hard to punish even when people step it.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think this move is solved such a big issue in Servi's like backstep with punish game.
Absolutely, yeah. People can kind of backstep away from a lot of stuff unless you had CE to really threaten them, then or little EB, which But this range right here, yeah, you weren't. Oh, that's too close.
Yeah. It would be like, I ran up. My bad.
That's
here,
okay.
I'll just stand
Yeah, like that's not a threat. Like I'll take that all day.
But yeah, it doesn't even give like that good okay.
That's money.
This,
and it's safe.
Yep.
And it's safe. Can't believe it's safe.
Yeah, even if you're slow, at the very least, you're getting guard damage in. You know?
Exactly. All right, so let's see. What are we going to talk about next? How about you know what? We should talk about some wall stuff. That's a big part of his game.
Oh sure, yeah. So his wall game. So everyone knows about the fact that he has an unblockable push throw. You know, it gives him on male characters a really good, just kind of like he gets like almost 60 damage. He gets Oki. He gets gunshots towards his lethalite. And it forces a mix-up. And we all know that like 3B for Cervantes up against the wall gives you just an absolutely nutty amount of damage. Right? It's pretty much Half-Life. 3B can be a little bit difficult, right? Because like as you can tell,
It doesn't
they
always wall
have to
splat.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
they have to be like right up against the wall for
Right.
this to wall splat. So I'm not a risk taker. I take my risks only with grabs and 3Bs. Like, you could never get me to stop grabbing, even if you duck lethal hit me 4 times in a row.
Right.
But everywhere else, I really want to be safe. So I don't actually commit to this too often. What I do instead is, if I feel like people are going to duck this, I'll do like 6-6B. You know? I want to do something... Yeah, I want to do something a little bit more, like, not super committal. Alternatively, you know, you can just kind of wait around. And this is something you'll see me do a lot, is I'll just chill. I'll wait here, I'll pepper my opponent with A6, and just kind of like... I'll use this wall as, like... kind of like a trap, right? Like, there's like this half circle around my opponent that I just never want to let them out. If they start stepping, I'll be doing this, and I'll be stepping to realign myself and keep them at the wall the entire game.
Absolutely.
And then, one of the best parts about Cervi, I guess just hold back so I can get the counter hit. This move is almost never spoken about. This wall splat is essentially an I-14 that gives you a really strong wall splat, right? So, you know, if you don't get the wall, at the very least, you get close to half-life.
And Insane Oki. Insane Oki.
And Insane Oki. And let's see if maybe at this angle I do get the wall. Yeah, so it's but yeah. And then if you do get the wall, you know, you go back to having pretty much a half-life combo. So this game plan of like keeping your opponent at the wall, threatening them, and also because you have the wall push, people duck, right? Which means A6 just keeps hitting them.
Right,
you know?
right, exactly.
Like they don't really get to get out by ducking in this situation, and so you get to just kind of contain your opponent at the wall. You keep them here the whole fucking game, and they die.
And which is insane too is that people don't realize Cervantes has a safe wall launcher too. Let's switch real quick.
Sure.
So this used to be -2 on block, then 0. Now it's +2 on block. So let's say they duck on the wall, and
yeah,
and then you get a whole death combo from there. And if they RE it, this is RE safe too. Go ahead and RE. If they oh, just kidding. We'll get this right. Okay, so if I don't step into it like an imbecile, you know, basically you step around that and you can just do whatever. So a lot of people want to be cute and, oh, I know he's gonna duck here. Let me just mash 2A, and then no, you can't.
And it's like, nope, you die.
And it's safe. And it's safe. You can't RE it. You have to just sit there and like, oh crap, am I gonna get thrown or am I gonna get wall launched safely? And it's still not your turn if you block it. So Cervantes is like ridiculous, ridiculous by the wall. Ridiculous.
Yeah, like a lot of people pick up the character, and what they do is they just focus on the wall push, wall push, wall push.
Right.
What like I think people should be doing is focus on the threat of the wall push and just play around that. You know.
Right.
Like the threat of the wall push just makes people freeze up here. You know, and
Absolutely.
which means you just control the entire game just by having someone up against the wall like this. And the best part is, let's say that you like somehow get me up against the wall. Cervi, when there is an opening, like let's say you knock your opponent down or something, right? You can take that opening and just go back. You know, you go back to the wall. You just do 4/4 B+K hold, and then 6, and bam, you reverse the positioning. So Cervi gets to be like a terrorist at the wall, but then also gets to never be oppressed at the wall either. He's like just privileged, very privileged when it comes to wall games.
It's a good word. It's true. This is the version we've been waiting years for. It's, I mean, it's, you know, it's crazy. He's got a little bit of everything with, I think we're going to have a very hard time on the How to Beat Cervantes section. We're going to have a hard time with that, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I don't know.
Man, I have spoken about that a lot. So many people have asked me how to do it.
I'm sure. All right, so we'll get the wall game. We've covered anti-step pretty well. We have AA, A6, what other anti-step do you like?
Other anti-step tools, 1-1K, K2, your low pokes can also double as anti-step tools. God, I hate saying this, people are going to make fun of me. Grabs are anti-step tools, guys. Believe it or not.
It's true, they track 100%,
Yeah. Like
Sure.
you don't have to commit to like a button that's unsafe or minus on block. You can just do grab and then you're neutral if they break this. You know, like this is a way to just check people for stepping in front of you all the time.
Right.
What else? Like there's some more like this is more going into kind of like his esoteric, hidden, mysterious tools, right? You have like 4A, which I want to credit Hates, Dr. Hates for teaching me about the glory of this move. If you land a counter hit with this move, let's see if I got it with the delay. Yeah, I did. Yeah, you get a conversion into CE.
Mhm.
It's just a safe I-18 high poke, which means that if they step after your AA up close, like it will also counter hit into CE. So this is like a really cheap way to fish for critical edge as an anti-step. But honestly, I think that the core gameplay of like these 4 moves you just saw me do is like the center of his anti-step game.
For sure.
They're all really easy to use. And really applicable in almost every situation against every skill level.
Absolutely.
There's not a lot of counterplay.
So we got the whiff punishers, which are pretty kind of self-explanatory, right? We covered all that. IGDR now with this patch, I want everybody to know it's something you should practice punishing, because before, when you blocked it, it ended up all over the place. It depended on the camera angle. Now when you block it, no matter what, you're in front of them. And
Yeah, you always get your punishment.
Don't let us get away with this. Punish us right away. You gotta punish us right away.
With a caveat that I think at like this range, let's see if I can get it. There's like a range where, okay, you'll still get it there. You'll still get it. Oh yeah, like at the super tip ranges, it's still, yeah, it gets a little bit safer.
Right.
Yeah, it gets a little bit safer, a little bit harder to punish. So be careful. Just it's obvious when it happens though, right? Just pay attention to whether it happened at very far tip range or up close.
For sure. So I think we need to kind of start getting into that section. How do you beat him?
Okay. How do you beat him? I think that Cervi, you have to beat this character in 2 ways. I think. The first way is you just oppress him on Oki. Cervi is a character that you oppress him on Oki and you oppress him at really small amounts of frame data. So like for example, let's think about Cervi's strongest options to punish you for mashing against him. If you're -6, right, he gets this. Right, which is gigantic damage.
Do it again.
On the lethal hit.
There you go.
Right, he gets his full thing, blah blah blah. However, let's say that you're -4, right? He won't get this. You'll hit him out of it if you do a 2A, which means he has to do this instead, or this, or like stuff like that. Like this is not a lot of damage. This is like pretty low reward for Cervantes.
Yeah.
So at small frame data, it's okay to mash against Cervi. He doesn't counter hit you for a ton of damage outside of +6 or higher.
Okay.
Aside from that, I think that you want to kill this character on Oki as much as you can, because that's when you don't really have to interact with his defensive play. That's when you just get to run your offense on him and not worry about his movement.
Right.
Aside from that, you gotta play fundamental. You can't. This character dictates the game. He's the one who's telling you how to play, and you have to listen to Cervantes when he tells you how to play.
It's true.
If he's spacing you, if he's zoning you out like this, you can't just hold 6 and mash. You need to space him too. You need to wait. Eventually, he'll whiff an A6, and then you can either you whiff punish it, or you take that opportunity to run in and mix him up.
Right.
Alternatively, you can play a game where you just kind of skirt right outside his grab range and try to like just guard a lot, and backstep him. Cervi notoriously in this game is not very good at dealing with backstep. That's true. He kind of only has like 6-6A, very far run up 6-6K. 6-6B as well, but it is -14. Keep that in mind. So this is punishable.
He gets very linear at far range.
Yeah, at far ranges, he gets very linear.
Because this is a hot.
So-
You can duck this. This is a great move, but you know you can duck that.
Yeah, exactly. Also, against characters with I-10s, this is also punishable on block.
True.
So, like, Servi also, one thing about Servi, while he does dictate the pace for you, Servi also dictates the pace for himself. Servi himself puts himself at negative frames really, really often. He does not have a lot of moves that are plus on block or ways of starting pressure on block.
True.
So, for example, if you start blocking like pretty much everything I do, right? If you block this move from Servi, don't let him mash on you, man. He's -6 here. You know, you can get a lot of while standing attacks to connect on him. And if he starts blocking after he does this, this is your pressure. This is your mix-up.
Right.
You could run your grab game on him. You could run your mix-up game on him. Similarly, if he A6...
His turn's over, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if he A6s you and he's really close to you, you know what I mean? Like, that's... There's no pushback. Pressure him. He's negative. Similarly, like, this character doesn't do a lot of stuff that maintains pressure on block. So he's honest with you, and you have to be honest with him. It's essentially what I think fighting Servi is like. You can't really disrespect each other. Utilize your own movement, and if you have a character that can zone out Cervantes, play that way. That is by far the strongest style against Servi's zoning characters.
No, I agree, and don't be afraid to use. I mean, I know this kind of applies to a lot of characters, but Cervantes' step is one of the best in the game, and how a lot of Cervantes starts off conversations is the same way since 2002. Step 3B. We love that more than anything on the planet. We love that.
Dude, kill this character's sidestep. Like, guys, he gets so much reward for stepping that every Servi player, myself included, will always like pause for a moment, step, pause for a moment, step.
Same.
You know, like just check them, throw your horizontals out. You do not have to be linear against this character. I would also be wary. Let's talk about this. I think in Soul Charge, if you block this really broken move, it is your turn. Just definitively now. It is -10 on block with less pushback than it used to have. Take your turn. Pressure him. And also, don't step a lot. You know, don't be very active against his Soul Charge. Servi's Soul Charge is mostly a defensive zoning Soul Charge that has a grab mix-up. You know?
Because he wants you to freeze up. He absolutely wants you to freeze up.
So don't run into him. Run away from Cervantes, because like most zoner characters, most keep-out characters, which Servi is when he's in Soul Charge, do not like to run and chase their opponents.
Right.
So run away from him when he pops the Soul Charge, or use Sungmina, like Raztok suggested. I think that's a fantastic suggestion. God, I hate that character.
Yeah, it's a very irritating character for sure.
Yeah, I think what else? Like when it comes to fighting Cervantes, I think that Incendiate is an example of a player who does this, and I fundamentally believe that this is actually a pretty good decision a lot of the time. Is commit to your ducks or your sidesteps. Like if you're going to, don't duck as often as you would sidestep him. If he's running up and grabbing the hell out of you, don't try to defend against it by like just doing this.
Because you'll get popped in a million ways. Like this.
Yeah.
There's a hard read. That's it.
Yeah. If you feel like 3B is coming, just step in. Whatever. You'll get grabbed. Whatever that would have happened to you if you were guarding anyways. You know what I mean? Like if you feel like he's about to run up and enact a mix-up on you, step him instead. Force him to play even more stale and even more simple.
Because this is annoying, but this is not gonna. I'm not gonna win a match doing this or this. I'll annoy you, but I eventually want you to step. And if you don't give that to me, I'm gonna have a much harder time opening you up.
Exactly. People get really nervous about Cervantes. They'll get knocked down, and then he'll run up and he'll just do all this movement, and then he'll grab them a ton, and then eventually you'll just see people just getting clapped by 3B all game.
Exactly.
You know? Don't give him that. Step his 3B. Don't duck. You know, never give him his highest damage opportunity here.
Exactly. And this is annoying too. We know this is annoying. We know this is annoying. That's annoying. But I'm not saying don't ever duck, but you just it's a major risk. It's a major risk.
Yeah. Fundamentally, a good way to describe Servi at the highest level of what his game plan is, he starts far away from you. You guys are both happy, and then he annoys the living dog shit out of you, makes you upset, bothers you, makes you play worse,
Uncomfortable.
he makes you super fucking uncomfortable. And then after you've decided that you've had enough of his shit, you hate this game, you hate fighting Servi, fuck this character, Bandai Namco, nerf him already.
Yep.
Then he runs up and he abuses your frustrations. He 3Bs you. He grabs you.
He wants you to hang yourself. He wants you to hang yourself.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and if you understand that like fundamental idea, right? What that means is that you can understand what he's trying to achieve. You can start understanding that, oh wow, Servi has been poking me a ton, right? Maybe he's trying to set me up for a run-up mix-up, right?
Right.
So now the next time you see him run up to you, you could start, counter hit him, throw like a really damaging button into him, right? Because he thinks he earned his place. He thinks he's bothered you enough to finally make you freeze up and choke and eat a grab mix-up or a 3B, and then just launch his ass, counter hit him, throw a button into him. The best way to describe your defense against Cervantes is that it should not be a passive defense, right? It should not be this, standing still.
Right.
It should be a lot of this, a lot of button, backstep, button, backstep, run away, sidestep, sidestep. Yeah, like, active defenses are when you defend yourself with moves and movement. Passive defenses are when you just kind of, you sit here and then you do that, and then you do this, and then you do that, Be
Absolutely.
active. Defend yourself by attacking him,
And also wanted to kind of point out too that don't let Cervantes get away with this. There's the two biggest offenders I see. I know it's online. I get it that we're in a pandemic, of course. It's mostly online play. So because it's mostly online play, a lot of Cervantes players will do two moves and they'll GI after. They'll do this, which is -14, and because people are not actively punishing it, and while standing A. While standing A, fellas, is launch punishable. This is -18. So
-16, 16.
16, I'm sorry, 16. So don't let him do this and then GI after. That is absolutely 1,000% fake. You have to train yourself in training mode. As soon as you see this, CE him. Or whatever you have, it's -16. Most characters
to be honest,
16.
I feel like even though it's been 2 years into the game, I don't even use my I-16s anymore. I just want to be consistent, right?
Right.
If I block a 3B, right? Like,
Oops, go ahead.
I just do A.
Yeah. That
And
works.
if I block, like while standing A, for example, right?
Oops.
Yep. I'll just do AA. That's it. Like, just do your AA every time.
Do something. So that's my point. Like, don't block this and let me GI. That's fake.
Yeah.
That is 1,000% fake. So I'm trying to GI now and I can't. So take your turn back. Hit him with AA, a 2A. Do something. Don't let him do this like an imbecile and then GI you. That's not real. That's fake.
Exactly. Other stuff I think is important when it comes to like fake stuff that Cervantes has is you'll see a lot of like lower level Cervantes players like really try to abuse like lack of knowledge and do like Dreadstorm setups, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like this kind of stuff, right? There is no mix-up. If you block this full string, just keep blocking, man. Like nothing happens. Like I can't. Like if you press a button here, look what happens to you, man. You
die, right?
Yeah, you take a crap ton of damage. Also, like this move, just block. Like so many people take the risk against the final hit of 1A slide BB.
Right, it's just panicking. It's just panicking.
And just chill out against Cervantes. Like he doesn't have string mix-ups, so if he starts doing a string to you, just block it. Don't worry about it.
It's true.
It's all unsafe.
There's very few moves that Cervantes actually plus on block. One of them is V plus K, and then you have little BK2. But notice these are very, very, very linear. So if people start moving around this, then it's. Yeah.
Even though they're fantastic on block, there's a reason you guys like will never see me using these moves often. However, in terms of jump moves, by the way, like this move is insane.
Yeah.
K-Side A, in my opinion, takes a contender for like top 3 jumping attacks in Soul Calibur 6. this move tech jumps at I4, which is makes it one of the fastest like actual jumps off the ground.
Right.
It does 40 damage. It's +6. At close ranges, it can be stepped really kind of like I think the Cervi, to that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Huh, maybe Cervi can't do it. Okay, there we go. Right, but like as you can tell, this move has really good tracking still. This move is nutty. I think that this move, like if you are dealing with someone who's peppering you with a lot of 2As,
Right.
Or lows throughout a match, like just throwing this move around can make their life like a really living hell, honestly. Also, look at the pushback on block. You know, you still maintain some distance from your opponent. Move is really good.
I agree. Absolutely agree. Yeah, he's got underrated jumping moves. Again, this too. This is insane. Like he's got good jumping moves. Look at the Oki there. He's got a really wide selection of moves. He's just make sure you lab what you lost to. Don't be afraid to go into practice mode. Don't be afraid to lab something. And something else I want to throw out to players too is every character has this. Some are better than others. But a critical part of Cervantes that I don't see a lot of other Cervantes players move is backstep canceling, which is literally back, guard, neutral. Back, neutral, guard. That's it. See this? Like you'll see me do Wayne the Blade like an idiot most of the time. Is because I figured while they're talking, let me just get some practice in. So that's why I'm doing this over and over and over and over. So it's muscle memory. It's not hard to do. It's just easy. And look when Cervantes do it. Look at the movement. Look where he's going from me. Look at this. And it's safe.
Look at that. Yeah, it's a really safe form of movement. My timing is a little bit off again because of the parsec, but essentially, right? For those of you who are watching, you will know when you do this correctly. I'll keep doing it until I get it like. Okay, so the first two I just did there, right? Like, if you see me kind of like not even guard, like it looks like I didn't even guard before my next backstep. You just see me shuffle around like this. That's when you do it correctly on almost any character you play. It'll look really like choppy movement.
Right.
That means you're doing the backstep cancel correctly, right? Every single character in Soul Calibur 6 can do this to varying degrees of like efficiency. Some characters it's not even that good to go for, but on a lot of characters in this game it's really strong. But it is especially strong on Nightmare, Cervantes, and
Mitsu.
Ivy. And Mitsu.
Very good.
Yeah. Like, if you play these characters, do your backstep cancels. And like Nori said, it is 4, G, let go of G, and then repeat.
That's it.
Yep. 4, G, let go of G, repeat. 4, G, let go of G, repeat.
Guard. And then as you do it, you look like you're bobbing. You know, you just, like, it'll, the parsec's a little laggy, but that's how it looks. It's easy. That's an easy one. It's not hard. It just takes a little practice. It's a little weird at first, but this is... You don't want to be doing this in a tournament. Backdash, backdash, backdash. Because like it's like you're swimming backwards, like you're tripping. On something.
You also don't want to hold for like. Look how slow Cervi is.
Right, exactly.
And look how unsafe he is. So, like look at him. He's like, please counter hit me, kill me.
He looks uncomfortable. The poor guy looks uncomfortable. But this, like just bring it on.
Yeah,
exactly.
He's like, let's fucking go, dude.
Exactly. So I want to start getting the chat ready. If you guys have any questions. Again, Cervantes, Enders is one of the best Cervantes players in the world. If you have any questions, want to ask him something, pick his brain, we'll definitely ask some questions in the chat. If not, I have questions I can ask him too to kind of keep it going. So we'll be taking those now if you guys want to start. What were we going to say, man?
I was just going to say, like, one important thing that I've always wanted to tell people with Cervantes who play him is don't be afraid to not take your own frame advantage. I think that this concept can apply to so many characters in this game.
Right.
But I think that Cervi is the best character at like being +6 and then just getting away. You know, be at advantage and then just walk away from your opponent, man. Let him do something. Read him, understand him. Because this is 100% uncounterable. I hit my opponent, backstep. There is not a single option they can do in the world to hurt me.
It's true. So PP guys had a question of this works moving forward also. Not really.
Backstep canceling is specifically for backsteps. However, there are movement techniques for other movement directions. For example, Step G, right?
Right.
Where you tap a step direction and then press guard,
Mm-hmm.
so that way you step and then guard as soon as your character is able to do so. It's not execution at all. It's just the up arrow, guard, or down arrow, guard, or whatever. And then this is something I do personally. But I do 6-8 and 6-2, which is forward step, side step. The reason I do stuff like this is so verticals in this game, for some reason, are much easier to sidestep when you are right up against your opponent.
It's true.
Right?
It's a weird soul calendar thing. Well, nobody can explain it. It's always been that way.
Yeah.
It's a weird soul calendar.
So I do a thing a lot where, like, when I run up to my opponent, I do, like, a lot of 6-2. It's nice, especially if you play a grab-heavy character, because you will get side grabs doing this. You will, people will whiff, like, all their verticals. Sometimes they will whiff horizontals.
Right.
Because you will step behind them.
Exactly.
Like, when they move forward at all with an attack animate. So, like, 6-2 is advanced movement for forward step, step guard and then back step canceling. And Boom has always spoken about box stepping, which is doing back step into a side step.
Absolutely.
Stuff like this is other advanced movement techniques. So I hope that clarifies anything you might have been curious about, PP guys.
For sure. Rastalk had a question. And is your opinion, what character do you think gives Cervantes trouble?
I think I have to put this on a scale, because one character gives me a lot of trouble for one reason, and another character gives me a lot of trouble in equal amount of trouble for a different reason. Number one, Aswell. This character, the reason he is what I like to call Cervantes' natural predator in this game. Aswell is a predator to Cervantes because he kind of exists and does his game plan from a range that Cervi doesn't really get to fuck with. Right. And then all of his fastest attacks, all of his anti-disrespect options, are either level 2 attacks, which directly conflict with Cervi's 2A+B lethal hit, meaning he can't get them, or they are I-10 attacks, which means that even when Cervi is +6, he can't interrupt them with 2A+B.
Absolutely.
So Cervi is really, really just not in a position to take advantage of his best options against Aswell. Back in the day, too, whiff punishing Aswell because of his insane levels of range was really hard. Now we have 3B+K, which was such a big deal.
Right.
But again, I still think it's really hard. And then, like I said earlier, Cervi does not like to be abused on Oki, and Aswell is very good at doing that.
For sure. It's hard to set the pace. It's hard to set the pace for Aswell. It's very hard to set the pace for him.
Yeah, it really is. You feel like you kind of are always playing reactive and defensive and never, ever, ever get to do your offense.
Right. But you can only block so much, you can only duck so much, step so much, and it's tough. Not a fun matchup, for sure.
No, not at all. Second, I think I would say Seungmina's really hard. For me personally, I have a pretty good track record against her, but I feel like I am fighting for my goddamn fucking life every time I see that character on the screen.
Oh, it's not fun. I agree. Yeah. It's not fun character. Yeah.
She's like Aswell, except she actually is kind of bad at defending herself up close, so you can kind of abuse that weakness. But then take Aswell's mix-ups and Oki and pressure from a distance and crank it up to 11.
Right.
And that's sort of what you're dealing with Seungmina. And finally, I'm not a big fan of fighting Tira. This is my personal thing.
Of course.
I am not a fan of fighting Tira in terms of the matchup. I love the matchup in terms of how fun it is.
Right.
But I feel like every time I fight Tira, she eventually enters Gloomy, and I feel like I'm staring at a better version of Cervantes whenever she's in Gloomy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so that's my thoughts on my personal hardest 3 matchups.
Who do you think Cervantes beats on for free? Breezy one now.
Oh shit. Astaroth for sure. Astaroth is one of Cervantes' best matchups.
For sure. I agree.
And then I also think that Cervi puts the absolute beats on Talum. I think that specifically in the Talum matchup, people think it's A6. It's not. The reason Cervi wins the matchup is this move. this move, Talon cannot beat.
Really?
Yeah. If she blocks this move, you can box step for free. One of the main things. So people think that you can zone Talon with this. However, if you backstep and then try to box step, right, she will counter hit you with 6 BB, which is an 80 damage counter hit tool.
Right.
You know. But if you do this move, right, if you do 6K into backstep sidestep, 6 BB whiffs. She cannot
even on block.
Even on block.
Wow.
She cannot contain you at all, constantly hitting her with this move.
That's crazy.
And then, if you hit her in the air, and you can confirm it, you get B2 after. You get an air grab. You know?
That's crazy. I didn't know
this move just completely just sets the pace of the Talon matchup. It is so obnoxious.
Let's just show people that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that myself. That's pretty awesome. So I jump, 6K hits me, and then you get a B2 grab. It's wild.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of like a situation where yeah, we have to do it again. So I'm trying to think of like which jumping moves would be an example of this. Yeah, so like as you can see, I'm like a little bit out of range there, right? But some of her jumping attacks put her really far forward, which would mean that I would get B2 here. Obviously, neutral jumping is not the same as her actual jumping moves.
Right.
But as you guys can see,
what about that?
like,
Let's see. Let's try that.
Oh yeah. Oh damn it.
That's nuts.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Okay.
So like, you see how you just get so much here. Yeah, and then finally, the third character that I think Cervi kind of puts the beats on is Mitsurugi. It used to be a really unfavorable matchup for Cervi. Not for me personally, but just in general.
Because of his 12 frame.
He had a 12 frame C. However, now Mitsu just keeps getting like nerfed and toned down, and he suffers hard against dealing with A6. He has a bunch of light attacks and gets lethal hit.
Right.
He has to fight Cervi up close, and no one wants to be standing this close to Cervantes.
Absolutely. Agree.
No one wants to be standing in like 3B grab range. It's suffering against this character. Those are my 3 picks for who Cervi fucks up in this game.
Awesome. All right, so looks like we got all the questions. Do you want to end on a final note? Anything you want to? I guess my last question is, or maybe a request from me. So I have my own opinions, of course, with Cervantes players. What is something you would like to see Cervantes players work on that you see other Cervantes players don't take advantage of, or something they're not doing? What do you think?
I feel like there's a lot of Cervantes players who.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Low-level Fatal Error, the worst Cervantes matchup.
All right, hang on, guys. My Soul Calibur just took a dump. Hold on.
So I guess I could talk about this while we're getting it up, or
go ahead.
Should I wait? Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of Cervantes players, I think, have settled for believing that they are not capable of learning how to backstep cancel or learning how to whiff punish.
Agreed.
I think that if you try to play Cervi without taking advantage of those strengths of his,
right,
you're not doing right by yourself. Like, you are capable of doing it. It is way easier than like Tekken execution. Just practice. Just take like, if you watch Netflix, open up Soul Calibur on another monitor if you have one, and just like play around with just doing IGDR constantly. Do your backdash cancels. Do it in ranked mode. Really, you'll go so far just learning how to like optimally whiff punish and optimally backstep cancel. And I think this could also go for a lot of characters, but especially Cervantes.
Agreed. Yeah.
Also, don't use like Dreadstorm bullshit and Soul Charge all the time.
It's just gimmicky. Don't depend on gimmicks. Yeah, it's gimmicky.
Yeah, like you are the fundamental god character. You're like. Yeah, you're just like one of the greatest fundamental characters in the game. You don't need to rely on shit like that. Take advantage of it when you become really good at the fundamentals, because then you could apply it to enhance, like throw in, a sprinkle of bullshit. I do it too, I throw in a little sprinkle of bullshit with my fundamental gameplay. That's nice, but you can't pour like a whole bottle of salt on your food.
And it's not
just like that.
It's to me like I'm trying to say this in the nicest way possible, but like Enders, I'm a New Yorker, so I'm gonna be blunt. a lot of Cervantes players, it's like watching somebody drive a Corvette and they don't know how to drive it. Like, you have the tools, you have the ultimate beast of a monster character in front of you. A lot of players will start off like, oh, I could do this IGDR tech trap, and I could do this, and that's cool. But if you haven't mastered movement, which is something you should always be practicing every single casual match. You shouldn't be trying to win every match. Like, work on your movement. Like, oh, hey, look at me. I just got away from, like, Ender's made a lot of great points about a simple AA, and then just getting the entire way from the situation. Look at the space I've just created. Like, just boom.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that. Perfect example. Just boom.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Just,
like, I couldn't even do anything. I felt like I wanted to just poke, you know? Like, think about this. Like, imagine hitting your opponent and then being this far away from them instantaneously. Right. You know?
It's nuts.
Like, your opponent has to commit so hard, man.
Yeah,
Serby,
work on it. Work on the movement. Work on the fun stuff. Like, you know, the fun stuff is cool. That'll come in time. Like, IGDR, yeah, like, it's cool to practice. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but I promise you can do it with practice. What's harder is knowing when to move and how to move. And I would always start with that. And not only that, if you start learning your movement with Cervantes, you can actually use it with everybody. Like, Astros need to know how to move. Talons need to learn how to move. All the unconventional characters need to learn how to move, and Cervantes will teach you. Really, he's like a much more fun version of Geralt.
Yeah, if you guys know the player JJJ, he actually was trying to get a bunch of characters to S rank, and he picked Cervantes. And he was asking me for a lot of thoughts on how to play Serby. And he told me recently that he felt like playing Cervantes without backstep canceling made him like have no fucking idea of how to win with this character.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he unlocked how to backstep cancel, he was like, that's all he needed. Like, that's it, game over. Like, suddenly the character was super easy for him to win with.
That's one of the first things I look for. It's one of the first things I look for when I watch the Cervantes players. I'm like, that's cool, that's a nice ring out combo, that's a cute tech trap, that's nice, but if you're not moving, I'm like, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Some amount of time.
Like, if you could do like this kind of backstep canceling, it is gonna go and take you so far. Also, you know, this goes for every character. Like, if you get good with it with Serby, you will be good at moving with every character you play. Who is the Pirate King, Serby or Maxi? I mean,
do we need to dignify that with response? Like, really?
You know what? It's okay, because he's not a Serby man, right? Like, it's okay. He might not understand. Consider the following, right? When Maxi eventually dies, he's going to stay dead. Serby, on the other hand, is still alive after being dead.
Damn, that was way worse than what I was gonna say. Oof, never mind.
All right. Yeah.
Damn.
I'm just saying.
I can't even top that. That's yeah. There you go. That's what you get for asking silly questions. Raz talk. But yeah. No, we love you, Raz talk. Raz talk's the homie. We just
I love Raz.
Just busted his chops. Yeah.
Maxi's a merchant.
It's true, yeah. When people say bust out the pirate, do you think they're ever meaning Maxi? No, man. They're meaning the undead god king. They're meaning Cervantes. Come on, man.
Sure.
No one's ever saying use the pirate. Oh, you mean Maxi? I've never heard that in my life. And I've been on the planet 37 years. Never heard that.
Yeah, like, people who don't play Soul Calibur, like, they're like, oh, the pirate guy, that's Serby. And then when they think, like, oh, Bruce Lee, they think Maxi, right? Like, Maxi's always been, you know, the Bruce Lee nunchuck guy. Watch out, right? He's not the ahoy, you know, drink like a bottle of rum, kill a family, badass, horrible, evil villain guy, you know?
Exactly. They think of, like, you know, you look at Maxi, I look at, like, you know, man, I let my daughter date that guy. Look at him like a real nice guy. Like, I'm like a pirate. Like, oh, I'm William Barbosa. Oh, okay, cool. You're a nice guy. That's fine. You have a little coin. But you think of like Cervantes. You think of like, oh, this is the undead king. Like, the king. Come on, dude. Like, what are we talking about here, guys? So I want to thank. I definitely want to thank Enders for taking time out of his schedule to hang out with us and explain all the Cervantes stuff. It's
anytime from my coach.
Yeah, no, I've helped you a little bit, man. I've helped you a little bit. You know, you did all the work yourself, dude. You did all the work yourself.
It's true. I have had a lot of coaches, but each one, I think, played an important part in getting me to where I am.
You know, you had a lot of questions. Like, you know, someone asked, you know, how you got good. I don't know if they were trolling or not, but I really do have an answer. Like, me and Jop and Sultan and Hates, we all used to really give him a lot of advice. Like, say, hey, like, do this better, do that better. And a lot of people can't take that criticism, whether it's nice or whether it's not nice. people can take that criticism.
Oh
He
yeah,
took it
guys.
he took it and ran with it.
Dude, I got fucking roasted alive by everybody. Like the amount of people making fun of the way I played, telling me like the things I did sucked. Like even like Ramon, who we know from NLBC, like taught me a lot and is like a parent figure in the Soul Calibur community for me, right?
For sure.
He was like my main offline coach and everything. Like, bro, Breezy could tell you how many times Ramon in public would be like, Enders, you fucking suck. What the fuck was that? What's wrong with you? How did you miss that? Jesus, you're garbage. What am I doing?
And to back up Ramon, we don't mean it to. When we're saying this, guys, we don't mean it to. I'm saying we, as an old arcade player, I am old. Like Chicken Wings pointed out, that's true. I'm 37, so I grew up in the arcade days of like you were called trash until you got better. So we're not saying as a human being to go drink bleach. That's not what we're saying. We're literally saying just practice more, focus more, like ask tough love. Thank you. Yeah, PP guys, exactly.
Yeah.
Always want to get better, but this guy absorbed everything. Like I would tell him. And as next level battle, haha, you missed that GDR, I cost you the round. You know why? Because I've done it a million times. Because Job's done it a million times. So it's
all about humility.
Right. And that's all it is, man. This character, like if you can, again, utilize the movement, he'll teach you fundamentals that you can actually carry over to other games. Movement, blocking. I mean,
what I learned from you guys and from my experiences is that to be good at a fighting game means that you have to be very accepting and willing to suck for as long as it takes.
Yeah. It's true. It's absolutely true, man. Well, thank you everybody for the chat. I definitely appreciate you joining us. Enders, you've been an awesome guest. Listen, I respect very, very few Cervantes players' levels of plays. You are one of my favorites. I definitely appreciate you stopping by. Do you have a final word for everybody watching?
Honestly, I think that's mostly it. A lot of you guys in chat, I know you guys actually really well. I love the Soul Calibur community. This is by far my favorite gaming community I've ever been a part of. Thanks again for having me here, Nori. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you as well. And thanks.
Appreciate it. Hey guys, listen, I have Enders. The top right, look at the. It's kind of hard to see with the stage. I'm sorry, but let me get off the stage real quick. Hang on, so you guys can see. Let's see. I wonder if this will work. Maybe I should make it a little darker. So I want you to see his Twitter. Follow his Twitter. He posts good Cervantes stuff. We have a Cervantes Discord. Give him a shout out. Also want to give a quick shout out real quick to every Monday, if you're on PC, on Steam, Rowdy Fighters actually has our own weeklies that we're going to start. Of course, we're not as big as other ones, but everybody starts somewhere, right? So we want Mondays to not be the shittiest day of the week as it is. We're going to try to make it a little better for you. So 7 o'clock Central Time, come hang out, come chill with us. It's Matcherino. There's always money in the pot, and I mean it's free experience. A lot of people freeze up in tournaments and don't have that experience. Well, come join and play, and we're all just trying to get better and get through all this everything. And so, Enders, thank you again for joining us. I appreciate it. Send a follow with both of us on Twitter. Enders, hit him up. He's a super cool guy. He'll be more than happy to play some games with you.
I will talk to anybody about this game and give as much advice as possible. Like, I mean it. I will talk to you guys a lot. Now, playing games, on the other hand, I am really lazy and forgetful, and I sleep a lot, but I will try my best to play with anybody that I can, like Nori said.
No, that's true, man. All right, well, thank you guys for joining. Hit us with a follow on Twitter. Hit me up with
also, shout-outs to Breezy.
Shout-outs to Breezy. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Appreciate it. I love the community, and you guys have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.